In the dense, cold, and sleepy jungles of Palamu district in Jharkhand, history has left some astonishingly beautiful and ironically forgotten remains of a time long gone. The Palamu Fort. The Palamu Kila are two ruined forts located 3 kilometers away from Betla National Park. The old fort is in the plain, and in this episode, I will show you the old fort. Let us feel the forgotten essence of history. Entering inside the fort through the north gate, you will find a hidden narrow staircase on your left side. This fort was well protected by a high boundary wall. The old fort was built over an area of 3 square kilometers. It has 4 gates with width of 7 feet each. The northern gate or the front gate is the largest one and known as Singhadwar. The fort has been constructed with lime and surki mortar. The age-old trees of this mystical forest and the cold hazy mist shield the fort. In the daylight, the silence of the area near the Palamu Fort is rarely broken by the visitors, since this road is a dead end in the lap of a green dense forest. At night, the ruins of the fort are covered by a blanket of strange, frightening silence. Even people having the most fearless hearts cannot gather the courage to set foot near the ruins at night. Local people believe that this regal fort is inhabited by unnatural forces, and they will try to resist you to go inside at night. Wikipedia tells us a wonderful story. The old fort in the plain was built by the king of Raksal Rajput dynasty. The rulers of Raksal dynasty in 1613 CE were invaded by the Chero under Bhagwant Rai, who seized power when Raksal Raja Man Singh was out of capital. The fort was rebuilt into a defensive structure by Raja Medini Rai, who ruled for 13 years, from 1658 to 1674 in Palamu. Medini Rai was a tribal king, and Daltonganj is renamed as Medini Nagar in his memory. Even today, people believe that till death, Medini Rai has remained the best administrator ever and was a man of big heart. Local people recalls that Medini Rai moved in disguise at night to find if his subjects were having any trouble. He wanted to ensure prosperity in every single house of his kingdom. Those in need were given land, financial help, and a cow or a buffalo. It is said that in the reign of Raja Medini Rai, no house was without a charner and butter. This is the main gate on northern side. You can enter into the fort from this side. As you have already seen, there is a staircase on your left to reach the upper part of the boundary wall. This fort had a 2-layer security. These holes on the walls were made to place the guns. This fort had suffered several attacks from time to time due to the fame and wealth of Raja Medini Rai. The Mughals during the reign of Akbar invaded in 1574 under the command of Raja Man Singh, but subsequently his contingent at Palamu was defeated in 1605 following the death of Akbar. During the reign of Jahangir, this fort witnessed 3 series of attacks by the Mughals but failed. In December 1616, Daud Khan arrived at Palamu Fort. The terms of surrender and payment of tribute were not acceptable by the Cheros. Daud Khan wanted complete conversion of all the Hindus under the Chero rule to Islam. Following this, Daud Khan mounted a series of attacks and finally occupied the fort. The Cheros fled to the jungle and the Islamic rule was imposed. You can see the long boundary wall. Now it is full of bushes, but if you are adventurous enough, you can give a try. It's a long boundary wall. The courtroom, located in the middle of the fort, is a two-storied edifice that was used by the king to hold the court. Near the southwestern part of the fort, there were two watchtowers located on the hilltop to track the enemy intrusions. Within 1 kilometer from the old fort, there is the new fort. The new fort is in the stone throwing distance. Initially, Raja Medini Roy reconstructed the old fort and later new fort was built by him on the hilltop. This is the staircase and this is one sentry post. From this place you can see the new fort. Here is the new fort you can see on the hilltop within 1 kilometer from the old fort. In 1771, the new fort was attacked by Captain Kamak of East India Company. The Cheros fought valiantly but had to retreat to the old fort due to water storage. The new fort was on hilltop and strategically in better position. This enabled the British to mount cannon-supported attack on the old fort. And the old fort was besieged by the British on 19th March 1771. Now if you turn on the right side of the main northern gate, you will find one path which leads to the inside part of the fort. This is the inside part of the fort. There are 4 gates on 4 sides of the fort. The northern gate or the front gate, southern gate on the back side, and eastern and western gates on both the sides. This is Hathishala, where elephants were kept. It is believed that earlier there were temples at this location and the Hindu kings used to offer their puja regularly. The hugeness of this place indicates the prosperity of the king. You can see how huge it is. Now we will move towards Rani Mahal. Rani Mahal is a simple two-storied building, not like the mahals we find in the storybook. King Medini Rai used to stay with his queen in this Rani Mahal. Here is the Rani Mahal, a simple two-storied building. Local people believe that huge ornaments and jewelries were hidden inside Rani Mahal. Now this place is full of shrubs and bushes, but once this place was resided by one of the best administrators of the then India. Though there is not much written documents about Raja Medini Rai in the history books, but local people pay their respect to this king even today. These are the ruins of Rani Mahal. It was very well protected, and it is believed that treasures were kept hidden under this mahal, though no one is sure about the truth of this fact. Now this path leads to the southern gate of the fort. Through this gate, one can exit from the fort and fade away inside the jungle, crossing the Koel River flowing just outside the fort. If you visit this place, try to wear high ankle shoes as this place is full of snakes. You need to take little preparation for the protection. Otherwise, if you have interest for the history, you will of course find this place very interesting. This is one gate. As I was talking about, this is the eastern gate. Now I will show you the most interesting part of this fort. There was sufficient water supply inside the fort. For this, several wells were seen inside the fort. This is the broken boundary wall. As I was telling you, you will find several wells inside the fort to fulfill the water requirement of the people living inside the fort. This is one well, but the interesting part is out of those wells, one was just a camouflage. As you can see here, this well looks normal as any other wells from outside. I am showing you in a closer mode. You can see that this well is just as simple as any other well from outside view, but it's actually an escape route. Now the water is dried up, but beneath this well there is a hidden path through which one can escape from this fort and can reach directly to Daltonganj. Since king and queens used to live inside this fort, I think this escape route was specially meant for them so that in case of enemy attack they can move out from this fort safely. While going towards the eastern gate, you can see the underground path if you watch carefully. This is the eastern gate you can see, and on the right side of this path you will find one opening. This is the path going towards eastern side. We are moving very carefully. Yes, here it is. We are moving carefully towards the small passage. And here it is. Apparently, you cannot identify it until and unless you know about this passage. We are moving towards the small opening. And here I am showing you the underground path. This is the escape route to go out from the fort. at the time of enemy attack. Here you can see the path. This is the underground path. Here it is. This is a long path and leads to Daltonganj. It's approximately 20 kilometers long. This is the underground path. Beneath that well, which is actually a camouflage. There are many such interesting things in this fort which are yet to be discovered. Hope you have enjoyed the journey. Thanks for watching.